Margaret, pleased to meet you. I'm Dr. Galloway. Are you happy to meet you? I'm Dr. Galloway. Are you happy for me to examine you?
Yes.
Particularly, I'm going to examine your neck. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So first of all, I'm just going to have a look. Okay. Can I offer you some water?
Yeah.
Can I ask you to take a sip of this into your mouth, but don't swallow it just yet?
Just hold it.
Just hold it in your mouth. And now swallow for me. Okay. I'm now going to have a look at you from the side and have a feel of your neck from behind, okay? Okay. So, I'm just going to start by feeling around the front. Okay, just have a feel of your glands as well. Just have a feel of the glands at the back of the neck as well. Okay, thank you. What I'm going to do now is ask you to take another sip of water, and I'm going to just ask you to swallow while I'm feeling your neck at the same time.
Right.
Swallow when you're ready. Okay. I'm just going to come back round the front now. I'm just going to tap down the front of your chest. Okay. And I'm going to have a listen to your thyroid gland as well. Okay. Thank you. So what I'm going to do now is just test your thyroid function rather than looking at your neck, if that's okay.
Right.
First of all, I'll start with your hands. If you pop your hands out in front of you, just hold them nice and still, just seeing if there's any tremor. Just going to have a close look at your fingers. Have a look across the fingernail. Fine. Just feel your palms. And rest that down. I'm just going to feel your pulse now. Can I just ask you to look at my finger now, and I want you to tell me if you get any double vision at all. So keeping your head nice and still, and just follow my finger with your eyes. Over to here, and to here, up here, down here, up here, down here, up here, down here. No double vision at all?
No.
I'd also like you to continue looking at my hand up here and just follow my hand with your eyes. I'm just going to do that once more. Look up, follow my hand down. Okay. The last couple of things. And just let your hand relax, nice and loose. That's fine. I'd just like to have a look at both of your shins now, so if I can just... okay, and the other side. Thank you, okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm all finished, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Margaret, thank you very much. So, in the exam, neck examinations are a common thing to come up, and you need to be prepared to to examine these confidently and smoothly. The most likely finding is going to be a thyroid mass or a goitre. And when you examine this, you want to divide your examination into two parts. First of all, examining the neck itself. But then in the context of a thyroid lump, the second part is then assessing thyroid status. Is this person hypothyroid, euthyroid, or hyperthyroid? So just a couple of key points about the neck examination. Always examine from behind. Have a pattern to your examination. Examine the thyroid gland first, start at the isthmus, and then examine the thyroid lobes. And then separately examine for lymphadenopathy, not forgetting that the thyroid does drain to the supraclavicular areas and also to the occipital areas. So as well as examining anterior and posterior triangles, you need to examine much further round as well. When it comes to examining thyroid status, always remember, start at the hands, don't miss that appearance of clubbing or thyroid acropachy, and then work your way up, not forgetting to notice atrial fibrillation or tachycardias. Look for eye signs associated with Graves' disease, and note that when I examined the eyes, I did two things. I looked for an ophthalmoplegia associated with the extraorbital tissue abnormality you can get by testing for diplopia in all directions, but I also looked for lid lag separately. The final thing was then to move on to look at reflexes, and not forget to look at the anterior of the shins for that pretibial myxedema you sometimes see in hyperthyroidism. So on examination, this lady has a smoothly enlarged swelling around her neck, which is consistent with a goitre. It elevates with swallowing, and on examination, on palpation, there were no discrete nodules within it. There was no associated lymphadenopathy, and on examination of her systems otherwise, she was clinically euthyroid. So in this lady where you've identified the presence of a goitre, the sort of questions the examiner will look for, what are the potential causes of this? So it could just be a simple goitre. Alternatively, Graves' disease is an important cause of goitre, as is atrophic thyroiditis or Hashimoto's disease. It's important to remember that goitres can present with nodules within them, and if they do have nodules, then you must exclude an underlying malignancy, even if that nodule occurs within a goitre. It's always important to check thyroid status, and in the context of Graves' disease, remember to distinguish the ophthalmoplegia, which is a feature of Graves' eye disease, versus lid lag, which is a feature of hyperthyroidism.